With great pleasure, the Rotary Clubs of Gig Harbor celebrate the Star Awards, honoring individuals in our community who, while not Rotarians, live the Rotary ideal of service above self. Tonight, we honor 3 more individuals who embody this ideal of service. Chosen by the Morning Club is Tom Taylor. Chosen by the North Club is Ken Kiefer, and chosen by the Midday Club is Dr. Sherwin Shinn. In addition to this public recognition here tonight, each Star Award recipient is also given the honor of becoming a Paul Harris Fellow. As new Paul Harris Fellows, Tom, Ken, and Sherwin are in good company, including U.S. astronauts Neil Armstrong and James Lovell, Russian President Boris Yeltsin, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill, animator and original Imagineer Walt Disney, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, UN Secretary General Javier Perez de Cuellar, creator of the Salk vaccine Jonas Salk, our own U.S. Congressman Derek Kilmer, and many of our local Rotarians. Over the past decade, 30 remarkable individuals have been selected as Star Award recipients, each chosen because of a visible commitment to service in our local communities and beyond. Each honoree has taken responsibility for leadership as they contribute significant personal time and effort to the causes they've chosen. Clearly not motivated by the desire for recognition, each Star Award recipient has chosen to serve simply because he or she saw a need and chose to respond by getting personally involved. Each has demonstrated enthusiasm, dedication, and a willingness to serve in a way that has changed lives and has inspired us. Chosen by the Rotary Club of Gig Harbor Midday is Dr. Sherwin Shinn for his Herculean efforts in establishing life-saving dental services to countless underserved countries around the world.
My name is Dr. Shinn. I'm a dentist here in Gig Harbor. I've been a dentist for 46 years, graduated from University of Washington in 1974. I have 5 children that's still at home. I'm married to a beautiful wife that I met in Uganda. I love her. She's the lady of my life, and she's really one of the prime movers behind facilitating all the things that we do in dentistry and our humanitarian outreach. In 1990, I was following up on my boyhood passion. I've always wanted to go to the Himalayas and see Mount Everest. So I did it. And one day, very last day actually, that I was there before I was leaving, I heard a little kid crying somewhere. And I was curious about it because I'd been there this whole time and I'd never seen anybody cry or be upset or anything. So I kind of followed the sound of this crying. I saw this little 4-year-old girl in a room, and her mouth was open and a couple people were looking at it. And I had totally forgotten that I was a dentist until that moment. I was standing in the doorway and I said, oh, you know what? This light bulb just went off. And I said, you know, I could probably figure out what's going on here. So I went over to her and looked at her, and she was swollen all the way from here in her temple area, all the way down to the side of her face, her neck, into the lymphatic tissue in her armpit. 4 years old. In my mind, the systemic infection, she was going to die from it if she didn't get immediate treatment. And I looked in her mouth, I could tell right away it was from abscessed teeth, some infected teeth that she had, and they needed to be removed. I just happened to be on my way to go to a field hospital that day, so we went there, and it was a 2,000-foot climb. We were already at 11,000 feet, so I was worried that all the exertion was going to make it even worse on her. But we got to this hospital. I told the doctor what was happening, and he said, well, don't worry, we have dental equipment here. So he goes in the back, he brings out this cardboard box about yay by yay. I looked in it, there was a dozen discarded, broken dental instruments, literally all corroded together in a pile of rust with fuzz going on the top of it. And totally unusable. The only thing that I had to use was this, my pocket knife. There was no running water, there was no sterilization. They did have anesthetic, but it was all written in some foreign language that I didn't understand, so I just prayed that it was the right thing. So I got the teeth out. This little girl sat there, brave as could be, no tears, just looking like wondering what was happening. And I was so impressed with the courage of this little kid to have a stranger do this kind of really invasive thing. When we got done, we had to go back down to the village, so we had a 2,000-foot climb to go down. This is a treacherous kind of walk. And she's still opened up. There was no suture. I mean, the only thing we had was a piece of rag for her to bite on. This little girl looked down, and I knew she could see the roof of her house. And she took off running like an antelope down this trail. I could just see this energy, this positive, satisfaction coming off of her, that she knew she was going to be okay now. And she was running home. And I get emotional about it because I remember standing there and watching this happy little kid, knowing that she's going to survive, running home, and feeling really ashamed that I was frustrated because I had to take care of her. And I realized as I stood there, I said, in this country that I'd never been to before, there are hundreds of kids, and every day a child is dying from infections from abscessed teeth because they don't know how to take care of it. And this wave just washed over me and says, how dare I feel ashamed, feel frustrated about this when I know that a toothbrush could be a life-saving tool in this country. And so as I stood there watching this little girl disappear out of sight, I thought, you know what? I'm coming back here. And I'm going to bring a whole bunch of toothbrushes, and I'm going to give them to the teachers in the schools. I'm going to teach them how to teach the kids and how to teach their parents. And at least we can keep some of this stuff from getting out of control like it was in this little kid. When I graduated from dental school, I remembered that I took an oath, a Hippocratic oath. And I said, I promise that I will use my education, my skills, and my talent to help anybody, anywhere, anytime that needs it. And so I went back several times and we built a clinic in the mountains area so people could have access to dental care. The agencies were calling me, said, would you like to go to another country that we have guide service in? Would you like to go to another country? And I said, well, okay. And so that's how it got started. We realized that, okay, we're really having a great time doing this. And so we set up a nonprofit foundation called For Worldwide Smiles. We put together our dental clinic here in Gig Harbor, and it's a nonprofit clinic. 100% of the profit enables us to take care of people and maintain the clinics that we've set up in other parts of the world. Now everybody can figure out that this disease is preventable by such a simple little tool. And beyond that, people get turned on with that. They want to get more and more involved in teaching, and so they pop up and I say, okay, well, do you want to learn more about this? How about if we get some money together and we'll send you to dental school? You can become a full-fledged dentist. We'll give you the training. How about if we build a full-fledged clinic over here and we can employ people in the community to come in. They'll get paid for being here to be a dental assistant or be a sterilization person, and the whole community can benefit not only financially but educationally and certainly from a healthcare point of view. So there's this ripple effect that comes from tiny little service that you do, and it's maybe really selfish, but I've never found any other way that gives me that kind of fulfillment and satisfaction. And it's just my personal belief, and at least it's my experience, I'll put it that way, that all of us share the same sacred energy of life. Because without it, we wouldn't exist. And the only way to enhance your own life is to enhance it in others. And the best way to do that is to give unconditionally and help however you can. Dentistry, for me, becomes that vehicle to give unconditionally. So, because I believe that when you work for money, you can have all the things that money can buy. But when you give unconditionally, you get to have all the stuff that money can't buy.
Whether we are promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, helping mothers and children survive and thrive, supporting education, or engaging in projects to support the local economy, Rotary clubs here in Gig Harbor and across the globe share the ideal of service above self. We are honored and proud that tonight, through the Star Awards, we have once again had the opportunity to recognize members of our community like Tom, Ken, and Sherwin, who share our commitment to service. On behalf of a grateful community, we thank you.